I'm Anna, a Ukrainian currently living in Kazakhstan. I got an email from an American couple reaching out to me to ask what it's really like to live in Kazakhstan. We had a great conversation and we're on the same page about the fact that everybody deserves a decent life. I think if you're lucky enough that your eyes can see, your legs can walk, your mind is functioning properly, you can develop yourself, you can work, you want to have a great value for the money you're making.
It's just for the normal person, you just want to live at a place, right? You come someplace, you pay so much money, or if you're in a major city, that seems like you have to pay more and more just to get what you think reasonable. Safety, a good place to work, walkable, higher quality of
Like
life.
your conditions do not improve, but the price is rising, right?
Exactly. Well, I'm in central Wisconsin. I work in cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity. Okay, I've never met a person who works in cybersecurity.
Oh,
cool.
Me and my wife, we're considering possibly in the future, maybe, what would it be like to move to Kazakhstan?
Oh, how did you get to that thought in the first
Of all
place?
places in the world, right? I do know a few people. I guess I have always been very interested in Central Asia for a few reasons. Its origins in Siberian Railroad, right? Being a crossroads to a lot of some of the new global shipping road networks. It's not too far from. So me and my wife, we do cross country skiing. It's area called, I think, Altai in China for the Altai Mountains. Nice. So the Uyghurs, Uyghur people's like very interesting story. And I guess part of I'm a business organization. They do business in Kazakhstan. They handle developments, they do projects, and I know people from there. So I'm like, you know what would it be like? And they talk about and they help people do business there. So that makes me, of all the places, right? All the places, and a lot of Americans are possibly feeling like a lot of the living costs keep going up in the United States.
How about safety? I've talked to people who live in the United States right now through the language community that I'm in, and like people kind of raising question of safety. Some of them like really are concerned with how it's going on right now. So how about you? Like, what can you say?
Due to a lot of reasons, there are some major U.S. cities that safety has been an ongoing issue. That has as much to do with growing economic inequality. That has things to do with it's a very complicated situation, but I'll say this way: it has been on the uprise since the pandemic, especially. So we're seeing a lot of uptick in like some major United States cities, which are typically regarded as some of the richest and most successful American cities. But just like, so I mean, these are great places to live. New York, these places are famous, right? World famous cities, yet they have complications of how to balance not only affordable housing, how to integrate people, how to treat, and the rule of thumb, I believe, was a very permissive policy from that seemed to correlate with how America interprets, liberal thought, right? Liberal societies.
Yeah.
But there's more forward. I think in Amsterdam, my buddy was showing me about how they're integrating some level of permissivity, decriminalization with pathways to treatment. And more intensive. So it's a lot of theories. It's a very complicated issue where a lot of great people are working on it. It's just for the normal person, you just want to live at a place, right? You come someplace, you pay so much money, or if you're in a major city, that seems like you have to pay more and more just to get what you think reasonable. Safety, a good place to work, walkable, higher quality of life.
Like your conditions do not improve, but the price is rising. Right?
Exactly. So the American purchasing power has definitely have decreased since the heydays. I guess the heydays may have been I don't know, post maybe 50s to somewhere around the 80s when housing cost was low, education was low, and healthcare was low. Our real terms income in America has actually declined. So if you look at the purchasing power or what in terms of inflation, everything else, that purchasing power has decreased steadily, right? Since the heyday. So I think Americans are kind of re-looking at what would it look like to live in a place where I have more buying power and able to provide a better future and quality of life. I get at the end of the day, I think everyone is actually looking for that.
I witnessed that with YouTubers that I follow. They were lucky enough to sell. So it's a really, really good time to sell property, either an apartment, but not for someone who's buying or rent.
I'm trying to be across the board and neutral. So I'm not trying to, I think everyone's feeling the pinch in some way. Cost of living is rising, while some of the things that made these American cities very great to live at. So even if you're America, you live in your neighborhood, you live in your city, right? You don't live in.
I've heard about that. Yeah, like in the bubble, like
right.
Bubble.
You don't live in I'm not evenly spread out, distributed across all the United States. And you got the U.S. territories. That's a whole different animal, right? So
there's enough to explore. Like you don't have to even think about the rest of the world.
Right. So people are noticing less benefits, rising costs. And some major U.S. cities increase crime and so it's costing you more to live up of what people are having quality of life. All these things seem to be looking at like, okay, I think a lot of people love their country, love where they're from. It's just like how do I just get a better quality of life? I think like
because we all strive for that. Exactly. So true. And it's interesting because like people. A lot of people like who now immigrate like from Ukraine. A lot of people ask me like, why don't you move to like Canada? Why don't you look for programs in Canada, United States? And like I was there. I had a dream, of course. Like I'm watching those movies as a kid. We had a lot of influence of that culture, right? And like I had the beautiful picture of that. Until I started researching, I learned one aspect that I didn't find appealing. I learned another aspect, and the third aspect, and now that I even like talk to people who live now in the US, and what I hear from them is not something that you find very attractive. What is it like, to be an immigrant somewhere? What is it like to rent? Like for a long time, like I do know that kind of when you rent an apartment, you rent an empty apartment. There are only walls, right? I'm not used to that. Maybe I think you know that like in post-Soviet Union countries, when you rent an apartment, you get everything in there. Everything. It's furnished. There is a washing machine, a water heater, everything. I didn't have to buy any additional things. They even provided us with, blankets and just everything you can ask for. So, and you don't pay for that. Like you only pay for the apartment, right? So it's kind of it makes sense it's easy to rent in post-Soviet Union countries. From what I learned a few years ago, in the US, quality of life varies from neighborhood to neighborhood. So in order to get into the best school or just good school, low crime rate, great service, great surroundings and neighbors, you need to be making a lot of money. You need to be working your ass off, right? Which is not necessarily true for the countries of post-Soviet Union. You can get the same service, you walk the same road with the people that live around you. They can make a lot of money, you might not, but you live at the same place. You might even live in the same building. The river is 5 minutes away. It's so beautiful there. Like we have the same blue big chunk of sky as people who live next to us have, and they make way more money. But we walk the same road, we get the same medical service, we buy same products at the supermarket. Like it doesn't really differ. I was showing Kevin the apartments in the biggest city, so means the most expensive city in Kazakhstan, and the price goes as high as $700-$7,500. It is a 2-bedroom apartment, which means that, like, it has 3 rooms, so there are 2 bedrooms and 1 living room. So if you consider renting anything smaller, or if you rent in the city which is smaller, you can rent an apartment for as much as $500, $400. We live in the apartment, 1-bedroom apartment, for $200 a month, like maybe $220. I am making around $400, maybe $500 a month. My partner works as well, and we get to live, a great life. Like, I don't question my living conditions, and it's remodeled. It smells nice. It's beautiful. To my standard, it goes beyond my expectations, because I lived in apartments way worse, but it still didn't matter to me. Like, what matters to me is that I don't have to struggle to try to make more money in order to get what is reasonable, in order to get my basic needs. How does that sound?
That sounds good. So
that sounds good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems I see the money can go a lot further in this region, right? It seems like I'm gonna have a lot of options there in terms of affordability, safety. One last thing, getting between cities. So there's the train option. How much is it to go to maybe Astana to Almaty on plane or train, roughly?
$56 between Astana and Almaty.
Wow.
It's gonna be $100 if you want to buy this today or the next day. But if you buy in advance, half the price. Have you heard of Charyn Canyon?
No.
Does that remind you of anything?
The Grand Canyon.
The Grand Canyon. They have their own Grand Canyon.
So that seems good. And one last thing. Okay. My wife does not eat meat. She eats fish.
Yeah,
is she going to starve in Kazakhstan?
No. She'll not going to starve, guaranteed by a 6-year-old vegan. And
Are you a vegan?
I'm a vegan, and my partner is a 10-year-old vegan, so we are a vegan family.
You both are vegan,
you
don't starve.
Vegans.
Wow, I'm so happy.
There are many products, and I think 1 or 2 online shops that you can buy any products, any like vegan meat.
It sounds great that you're saying that you have a safe place, and that you guys are vegan and still have many food options.
Absolutely.
So if you go to
But we are very simple. Like, we were never kind of into the like fast food vegan style. Mm-hmm.
Now berries, we can get them frozen, right? It's not a big.
Yeah, absolutely. In packs,
Yeah. So berries and oatmeal and coffee, my wife loves.
Yeah.
What do you do for milk? Is there like almond milk, or you just?
I just bought plant-based milk. Let me tell you how much was that plant-based milk carton. $1.30.
Wow.
We forgot to talk about the medical service. So I did a medical checkup, which means you go to a bunch of doctors and get examined. I had a lot of tests done, and I had a few dentist appointments. So I can guarantee that first, the attitude is amazing. Second, it's super affordable. For an American, it's super cheap. Like, I know how much it costs to get medical service in the United States. So, and 3, you get very quality service. Like, I was impressed with that. I'm from Ukraine, so I know what a good quality service is, and it's pretty much the same in Kazakhstan, from what I can see.
So from what I heard, for an American, especially if you're able to work remotely or have American salary, your money seems to be able to go really far in places like Kazakhstan. Yeah. You told me about housing price, expect maybe $650 to $750 USD per month.
Mm-hmm.
You told me it's safe. You told me that people are modern. It's not this backward place. People have modern attitudes.
Super modern. Mm-hmm.
People get along well with each other. Low crime. Very affordable, and it's safe for women to be out. No one's going to cost them or anything, and they're open to Black people, white people. Thank you so much. Thank you so for being willing to reach out. I wish you success with your YouTube channel. Are you going to send me those links?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you. I have all them prepared. I'm gonna send you all the links. And that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm saying this for the first time in over 3 years that I'm on YouTube. So it would mean a world to me if you do that. Thank you so much.